Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Good afternoon and happy Friday. I'm Tre Tailor, and thank you so much for joining us for the award-winning Coping with Tre Tailor. Listen, South Carolina has a major primary coming up on Tuesday. Today is the last day for you to vote early. To talk about it, Deyaska Spencer Sweatman joins us. She's chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party. Thank you, beautiful, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, the Tre Tailor. You know I love you, Tre.
Thank you, Dee. I appreciate it. We're going to come back with Deyaska in just a minute to tell us all about the election, all about the primaries, and what you need to know. But first, your COVID community updates. The VP is in town today. Kamala Harris will attend the Blue Palmetto Dinner at the Convention Center this evening. This is the first time in 2 years that the annual fundraiser has been held for the SC Dems due to COVID. Tickets range from $50 to $5,000. And local churches and law enforcement will host a gun buyback program to help address the increase in gun violence in Columbia. Pastor Michael Henry Baker of the Greater St. Luke Baptist Church is spearheading the effort, encouraging people to get paid to turn in their guns June 20th through the 21st. Now, from 4 until 7 o'clock, the M.L. Smith Community Development Center on Farrer Road, you can get $100 per handgun, $250 per assault rifle with a limit of 3 weapons per category. Now, participants will be paid at the event, no questions asked, and no background checks. Columbia police officers and Richland County deputies will handle the incoming firearms. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date list of times, dates, and location for COVID testing and vaccinations in and around South Carolina. Visit scdheck.gov for more information. All of the information that I'm getting ready to share with you will be scrolling at the bottom of the screen throughout the show. So please post and share so we can get the message to the masses, because with COVID numbers going up, we need to be more aware. As a matter of fact, the City of Columbia is partnering with the DHEC to have a couple of more COVID testing sites. Between 1 and 5 next Tuesday and Thursday, folks can go to Hampton Park. The following Tuesday, the 21st, and Thursday, the 23rd, Drew Wellness from 1 until 5. And also Tuesday, the 28th, and Thursday, the 30th, there's free COVID testing from 1 until 5 at Hyatt Park. Now, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, you'll also see information about where you can order your free self-kits from the government. Also, information for vets who need to go to the VA to get all of their COVID testing and vaccination done. You'll also see information at the bottom of the screen about the several retail outlets, and not only in South Carolina, but throughout the country, that host COVID vaccines and testings, including Kroger Pharmacies, CVS, Walgreens, and also the Comet bus system. You can also get a free ride to get your COVID vaccination at the Comet, and then the Comet also has free testing on Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. If you are having some challenges making your COVID appointment because you're a little technologically challenged, Get Set Up can help you make your appointment. You can give them a call and they'll kind of walk you through it. Also, you'll see some financial information, including FEMA's COVID funeral reimbursement program. SC Bar Association and SC Legal Services has a toll-free number and website for rental and mortgage help. Lexington County's Bill Assistance Program still has funding available, as does SC Housing and Dominion Energy Rental and Utilities Assistance Program. Listen, if you or someone you know is having a challenge coping with COVID or coping in general, you can contact SC Hopes. It's a 24-hour assistance line from the South Carolina Department of Mental Health. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching the award-winning Coping with Tre Tailor. Please go to our Facebook page. That is the home of Coping with Tre Tailor and Coping with COVID, as a matter of fact. Go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you receive notifications as to when we go live on Wednesday from Wellness Wednesday from SCDHEC, the In It Together SC, and the Diabetes Advisory Council of South Carolina. That's Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and then on Thursday and Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Coping with Tre Tailor. We're also streaming live on the YouTube channel. We would love for you to go over there and hit the subscribe button. There you will find resources and content and information from 2+ years of us doing the show. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. Don't forget, all of the information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen for COVID testing, vaccinations, resources, and more. The comment section is to the right. If you have a question or a comment for me or our guest today, please don't forget to make a comment. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Deyaska Spencer Sweatman. She's going to join us to tell us about the upcoming primary and early voting today. That's coming up next on Coping with Tre Tailor. I'm Tre Tailor. We'll be right back.
The Comet gives me a reliable source of transportation.
It's very convenient to me, and they have wonderful drivers.
It's clean, and it builds community. It's fun to meet people.
It makes me feel like really independent. It's just fun.
It's always going to be there, and it gets me everywhere I need to go.
We try to ride every single day. Comedy is our livelihood.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Sawyer, an entrepreneur and caregiver. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Up to 90% of South Carolinians who have it don't know they have it. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join a diabetes prevention program. This message brought to you by the Diabetes Action Council of SC.
Good afternoon. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching the award-winning Coping with Tre Tailor. We are talking about the South Carolina primary today, and it is actually Tuesday. Today is the final day to vote early. Deyaska Spencer Sweatman joins us with all the details. She is chair of the Richland County Democratic Party. We did invite representatives from other parties and were unable to get them on today. But Dee, we sure are glad that you're here with us today in your beautiful red.
Thank you for having me. And you know the Richland County Democratic Party would be here for your show. You do so much good work for the community, and we ourselves pride ourselves on community work and community advocacy. So we wouldn't miss it.
Well, thank you, Dee. I appreciate it. Tell us a little bit about what this primary is for.
Well, the June primary is an opportunity for you to select the slate of candidates that will represent your party in the November general election. So it's an opportunity for you to vet the Democratic candidates for office. We have a hotly contested gubernatorial primary with 5 Democratic candidates vying for the nomination. So this is your opportunity to give your voice and to support the candidate that you believe will best represent your interests.
So, in addition to the gubernatorial race, which one of those candidates is a African American female, which is unprecedented, as a matter of fact, what other races do people need to kind of put on their radar?
Another race that I definitely encourage everyone to do some research on, to do your homework, is the U.S. Senate race against Senator Tim Scott. I think we were all incredibly disappointed when Jamie Harrison ran against Lindsey Graham and we didn't pull it out. But we've got to give ourselves a little bit of credit. That race was run during the height of COVID. And on this show, I think all of your viewers understand it was a time where it was difficult for us to knock doors or do any real canvassing that has in the past been a part of our success. So it was a difficult race, and COVID was definitely a hurdle. This year's different. Even though we're seeing COVID numbers on the rise, the vast majority of those who want a vaccine has had an opportunity to get one. And we need canvassers, and we definitely encourage everyone to support the Democratic nominee that comes out of this primary that will face off against Senator Tim Scott come November.
Now,
we need to get rid of Senator Tim Scott so that we can have a strong Democratic senator in Washington.
Yeah. You mentioned Jamie, and I just wanted to jump in. Even though in spite of COVID, he really did well. I thought he really ran a great race, raised, a huge amount of money. I think the most money for a race of that type. And he didn't do bad. He ended up getting, a major position. So.
Well, and I have to agree with you. He is the candidate, right? And that's why President Biden has chosen him to lead the Democratic National Committee. So our DNC is led by South Carolina's very own Jamie Harrison. I think we just had a difficult time because in South Carolina, the county parties are your boots on the ground. They're your grassroots organizers. And because the 46 counties couldn't get out and knock doors the way we wanted to, I think that was an impediment to our success. And that's different. This year, we're knocking doors. We're electing a Democrat for governor.
Yeah. Maxine Moses says, hopefully we can say goodbye to Tim Scott. Thank you, Maxine, for your comment. We are talking to Deyaska Spencer Sweatman. She is chair of the Richland County Democratic Party. We're talking about the upcoming primary and early voting. Now, people can vote today till what time? Till 5 o'clock, right?
Till 5 p.m., Trey. So early voting started on May 31st. And it's run now for several days. Today is the first time that there have been long lines. I'm getting messages on my phone that are saying the lines are long, and we're happy to see that. We're excited to see longer lines. And even if your viewers and those who are listening in, if they're unable to vote today, the actual primary is this coming Tuesday, and the polls are open 7 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Right. So today until 5 o'clock across the state, early voting is going on. And as you said, I think it is encouraging that people are really taking advantage of the opportunity to vote early.
They are, and they should be. It really was amazing that Governor McMaster actually did something that was good and for the people. We've seen a lot of rhetoric, and he's definitely someone that is a diehard conservative, especially in some of the bills and laws that he supports. But this particular law that expanded early voting without excuses, it's an important opportunity for those of us who work 9 to 5s and it's difficult to make it to the polls on Tuesdays. I think this gives you an opportunity to vote early and do so as your schedule allows.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Dee. There had been talk, I know one time, that you could not give people water or anything else in line. Is that correct in this instance too for early voting?
We're not encouraging anyone this primary to assist with giving water or snacks. Previously, we've done that. Now, as we approach November, because in November, the county parties have an opportunity to actually work the polls and stand outside. We're not typically allowed to do so in a primary. Only candidates are presently out, and they're less concerned with making sure that you're hydrated. They just want you to know their name.
Yeah.
But come November, we're going to get some more guidance on that and make some decisions about what we're going to do, because previously the county party was boots on the ground providing water and snacks, and we hope to do that again this November.
Awesome. All right. So people have until 5 o'clock today around the state to early vote. People can get more information. I think we've got a graphic that we can throw up. People can get more information about where they can go on their in their particular city by going to the election commission website. Now on Tuesday, which is election day, polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Correct?
That is correct, all day long. And so you all, this is a very important primary. It's important that Democrats show up to select the gubernatorial candidate if they're choosing to vote for the House member that they want to compete against any Republican opposition come November. We in Richland County especially have a very, very heavily contested race in House District 70. House District 70 had previously been a district that served the lower part of Richland County. And for whatever reason, this Republican legislature combined what was Representative Wendy Brawley's district with what is now Representative Jermaine Johnson's district. And so by them doing that, they put two strong advocates at odds against each other for the primary and for the Democratic nomination for House 70. Do not let that sway you. You still should vote for the candidate of your choosing. There's also a third candidate in that race who's running to represent House District 70.
Yeah. A lot of people may not know, may have heard, because people just are not up on, what's going on. And people are going to get to the polls, whether it be today or Tuesday, and see some things that are going to look a little different because of the redistricting, correct?
Yeah. And that's true, not just for Richland County. That's all across the state.
Right.
Our legislator voted and they instituted these new lines, and the NAACP and other organizations had to file a lawsuit to force them to go back to the drawing board and redraw the lines. And as I mentioned earlier, House District 70 is a perfect example. For the next 2 years, it combined with much of House District 80. Thankfully, in 2 years, 80 will be its own entity again, its own district. And so our former Representative Jermaine Johnson won't find himself combined in a district with his colleague and friend, Representative Brawley.
Right. Attorney Deyaska Spencer Sweatman joins us. She is chair of the Richland County Democratic Party. She joins us today to talk a little bit about early voting, which is over today at 5. And then, of course, the primary, which is Tuesday. Now, as you said, Dee, after the primary, whoever wins the primary, now there could be some runoffs, though, right?
There could be some runoffs. And honestly, if one nominee doesn't get at least 50% of the vote, they're forced into a runoff, which again is the reason why we encourage everyone to vote now. Choose your candidate now. We're probably going to see a runoff, especially for the gubernatorial race. There's 5 candidates vying for that position. So I'm sort of anticipating that. But that means you have to vote twice. You're going to have to vote on the 14th and again, I believe it's the 25th.
Right, because it'll be 2 weeks after, right?
Roughly 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, there will be the runoff. Yes.
Yeah. And then, of course, the election is in November.
Yeah, that is the election where your Democratic nominees, the folks you chose in June, will face off against the Republican opposition come November. And we have already seen in this state, the state of South Carolina, for for 2 decades, a little more than that, because we've not had a Democratic governor in a very long time. We've seen what we get when we have a Republican governor. And any of the 5 candidates that are running for the Democratic nomination would be a great option in lieu of who we have now.
Yeah. All right. So the election is in November. Again, the primary is Tuesday. People can vote early through today throughout the state. And then, of course, the polls open Tuesday from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Now, if you don't vote in the primary, can you still vote in November?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We want to encourage everyone to participate in the primary so that you can choose candidates that represent your interests. But where the rubber meets the road is November. Voting in November is important, and it's so important that 4 years ago, James Smith, a Democrat, ran for governor against Henry McMaster. And in Richland County, which is my county, he outvoted Governor McMaster 2-1. So for every 3 people, 2 voted for James Smith and only 1 for Governor McMaster. This year, I need the viewers to show up to the polls because we want to make sure that the Democratic nominee, for every 1 vote that McMaster gets, we want our Democratic nominee to get 3 votes. And we need to do that in Charleston County, in Greenville County, and Richland County, so that we'll have a fighting chance to take back Arsenal Hill, which is where our governor's mansion currently sits.
Right. Yeah. All right. So people can, of course, they can still go ahead and vote. Now, is there a deadline for people to register if they do want to vote in November? Because if someone's not eligible to vote or hasn't registered by today, they can still register and vote in November, correct, Dee?
They can. scvotes.gov is the website that we want you to go to update your voter registration if you've recently purchased a new home and have moved. Also go there to register, scvotes.gov. And you can register to vote in an upcoming election so long as you register 30 days or more before that election. Your name will be on the rolls. Great. Now, if you fail to register timely, you're going to have some difficulty when you appear at the polling locations to cast your ballot. So register early, go ahead and vote. We have a lot of information on the Richland County website, which is www.richlandscdems.com. You can get information there. Also, this summer, we'll be rolling out our fact-based Get Out the Vote campaign. There will be multiple opportunities for you to attend one of our voter registration drives. And that information we post online at mobilize.us/Richland County Democrats.
All right. So we can put all of that information, scvotes.gov. We've got that information up. Of course, the richlandscdems.com website is up. And if you want more information, not only about voting, but about what the Dems are doing, about their upcoming voter registration events, and for volunteering, because volunteers are needed, right, Deyaska?
Oh, gosh, Trey, we could do nothing without our volunteers. We are a volunteer organization, and our volunteers are the service arm of the party. As chair, a lot of my work is behind the scenes working with lawmakers, making sure that we're heading in the right direction, but the volunteers implement the strategic plan. The volunteers are the doers, and without them, we're nothing. So I invite anyone who wants to help out to go ahead and click the link on our website, or you can email volunteer@richlandscdems.com, and our volunteer coordinator, Ms. Valerie Moore, will plug you in and get you going.
All right. People can go to the website. We've got the information up right there. You can see it, richlandscdems.com, or you can go to volunteer, richlandscdems.com. And of course, for more information about voting, voter registration, and more, and also to see everyone that is on the ballot for not only the primaries, you can go to scvotes.gov. Deyaska Spencer Sweatman, chair of the Richland County Democratic Party. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today and providing us with all of these updates. And we appreciate your service, lady.
Thank you for having me, Trey. And I hope to see you and many of my other friends tonight at the Blue Palmetto dinner where Vice President Kamala Harris will be speaking.
Right. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I want to know, because I mentioned it in the open. Are tickets still available if people are interested?
Tickets are available, or were available early this morning. You would go to scdp.org. It's the State Democratic Party website, and you can purchase your ticket there. The dinner ticket is $150 per person, but know that the monies raised from the Blue Palmetto dinner will help us get out the vote for statewide offices as we run and try to win and take back Arsenal Hill in November.
Absolutely. And so I guess those $50 tickets, you just be in the place with nothing to eat. You need to go by and eat before you come if you're going to try to get a $50 ticket. Huh?
There is no $50 ticket.
Oh, I thought there was a $50 ticket.
Okay. $150 is the ticket price.
Okay. All right, Deyaska Spencer Sweatman. She is chair of the South Carolina Democratic Party. She said, don't forget about the Blue Palmetto dinner tonight, featuring VP Kamala Harris at the Convention Center. And then, of course, early voting is until today at 5 o'clock. And folks can definitely stop by their polling place Tuesday from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Thank you, Dee. I appreciate you. Beautiful.
Thanks, Trey.
Absolutely. So listen, if you have a story or initiative that can help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtretailer.com. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtretailer@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like In It Together SC and the Diabetes Action Council. They sponsor Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. As a matter of fact, this Wednesday, we'll talk about the healing powers of music. We're also sponsored by the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson, also Palmetto Media Connections, Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall, the Comet Bus System, and Agape Counseling and Training Services. Now, as I said, Wednesday, it's the healing power of music on Wellness Wednesday. Thursday, we'll talk about the upcoming Juneteenth Freedom Fest, and Friday, local minority-owned pharmacy here in Columbia, South Carolina. That and so much more coming up on Coping with Tre Tailor. As usual, I leave you with a inspirational reading. We have been reading Conversations with God from Cheryl Mims Williams with Agape Counseling and Training Services. One of my favorites in this, it says, Father, speak to my heart, because today there's so much chatter and so much noise in my head. You ever had one of those days? I have been trying to go around the noise and get through the chatter. I'm very distracted and I can't hear your voice. My mind is cluttered with things and events of the day and of the week. I feel your light. I know you're in my presence because I feel you in my heart, but my head is still filled with chatter and noise. Lord, let me be quiet so that I can hear your word. That's all we got to say is, Lord, let me be quiet. Quiet my head so that I can hear you. That is Conversations with God from Cheryl Mims Williams with Agape Counseling and Training Services. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the award-winning Coping with COVID. If you hadn't heard, we recently won 2 awards in 1 week. It was really pretty surreal. The Communicator Award and also a Telly Award. And we are so honored and privileged for the opportunity to come to you and provide credible and reliable information on social media where it's so much needed. So until the next time, I wish you peace, abundant blessings. Take care. God bless. Stay safe. And please wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. We'll see you somewhere this weekend, hopefully.
Coping
coping with strife, bringing hope for success, for improving our life. Coping beyond hoping to do more than survive, ways to live a healthy life. Coping and promoting, learning what you can do, 6 ways to a better you. Coping, find peace of mind to survive